Hi, everyone. This is Dee Marley with the History Bards podcast and the HFC book reviews. This week, we're going to be reviewing Hungry Trails by Maire Malone. The horrors of the Irish potato famine of 1847 are well documented and laid out in heartbreaking detail in this story. As seen through the eyes of Julie Foley, a 16-year-old young Irish girl from Attymass who clings to her own dreams of one day becoming a teacher. Yet when the blight strikes and is introduced to the reader at the outset of the book, Julie's dreams are waylaid as the tragedy unfolds. Not only is she faced with the responsibility of helping her family survive, she must endure watching the families around her starve, the corpses strewn across the landscape from lack of food and backbreaking work, and her own little sister dwindles away as a result. But the Foley family is blessed in several respects. Not only are they a resilient and close family with strong faith, but they are blessed to have friends who can afford to help them out in their times of need. Their friends provide an opportunity for the family to immigrate to Canada. After a harsh journey to the docks and days of waiting for the ship to arrive, then the family endures unimaginable conditions aboard the Elizabeth and Sarah, where more people starve and face life-threatening diseases. Yet Julie's dreams still thrive, even as she meets a young man, Fionn, on the ship, who has his own dreams of life on the continent, of life in New York City. Julie's family arrives in Montreal and settles in Griffintown, where Julie soon takes up employment with an Irish widow as a servant in the lavish district of Mount Royal. Again and again, Julie's family faith is tested as one tragedy after another strikes, even in this new land, that of devastating floods, the loss of loved ones, and time and again her dream of being a teacher is waylaid. She is forced to take care of her family. But in the process, she grows up and through an unusual friendship with an Algonquin Indian woman who is converted to Catholicism, in her continued correspondence with Fionn, the sun rises on her dreams, and by the end of the book, the reader is hopeful that Julie's story will continue far beyond the last page. For a certainty, the themes of this novel, that of enduring human spirit in the face of dire conditions, translates well for a reader facing tragedies in our modern day. Julie's qualities of loyalty, resiliency, faith, compassion, and bravery are well fleshed out in her character, as well as the normal human tendency to question their own faith and the role God plays in their life in the midst of all the suffering, much like Job in the scriptures. The narrative is especially well written and flows easily, and for the most part, one which a reader can read well into the night without stopping. For an immersive insight into the Irish potato famine and the political red tape of life in Ireland and the oppression of the British government at that time, plus the brutal conditions of the Irish poor, then this is a book to read to fully engage with the travails of the period, not to mention to hone up on the history. Of particular interest to this reviewer was the relationship between Julie and the Indian woman, and how her down-to-earth beliefs helped ground Julie in her wavering faith. And the beautiful illustrations of the simplicity of watching the birds in the sky, which hark back to Julie's faith in the scriptures, which refer to God taking notice of a small sparrow which falls to the ground. This is definitely a story in which the theme of faith resonates. So we at the Historical Fiction Company gave Hungry Trails by Maire Malone 5 stars in the highly recommended Award of Excellence. This is definitely a book to read. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for another book review. You can always read more at our blog at www.thehistoricalfictioncompany.com/blog, or you can listen to our podcast on Spotify or our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and again, thanks for listening.